In this drill, I was working on what I call horseshoes. And again, I always start off in the direction that I believe is going to be my first barrel. I start off in a trot coming down the wall, and then I circle around the first barrel, and then I push her out onto the bottom side of what the horseshoe is, and come around to the second barrel, and I'm going to circle it again and then push her out to the wall, and I'm going to use the wall to do a rollback. I'm going to do the rollback the same way that I was talking about in my previous drill, where I am moving her off the wall, asking her to round up her rib cage and come into that rollback like I want her to come into a barrel, and then I'm wanting her to finish on the back side by shifting her weight onto that hind end and bringing the front end around. And then I start into my little horseshoe again on the left side here. Come down to the bottom end of the horseshoe and around to this next barrel. And I circle it again. And then again, push her up the wall, ask her to move over, do my roll back. I really like this drill to be able to work on getting their feet quicker, working on picking up the right leads and lead changes, working on getting them to come back to me for a turn. You can obviously add some more speed than I'm doing with her here, just the stage of the training that she is in. You can also flip the horseshoe and use the third barrel as your circle, and then you will have a longer run down the wall and can gain more speed if that's something that you want to be working on, as opposed to the shorter lines that I'm working here and having 2 barrels to circle. I always like to be even on both sides. So I'm going to come around and do one more pass through to the left before I'm going to ask her to pick up a lope. And now when I come up the wall here, I'm going to want her to pick up the right lead right out of the backside of this rollback. I push her through, she picks up right away, and we go right back into our circles around the barrels. And again, if she wasn't circling the barrels nicely the first time, I would circle them again until we get a nice even circle around the barrel. And I am eventually wanting her to be able to do the transition on the wall here without having to have me slow her down to a trot and move her off the wall. I'm going to want her to be able to do that right from a lope. But we are not quite there yet, so I'm still breaking it down a little bit for her, making sure that she does it correctly. I'm super happy with how she worked through this drill. Her circles around the barrels were very nice. They are smaller and more controlled. She really did very well picking up her leads and coming back to me for these circles. You can really see that she's starting to really get a lot of drive from her hind end and load up on her hind end on those transitions on the walls. Overall, just really happy with how she worked through this whole drill.